Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. Not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Well, let's see what's going on over at our friends at the Babylon Bee. What are their headlines today? We could do some laughs. CNN reports on deadly boat accident at Pearl Harbor. Well, we're going to try to look at that one. Trump to the rescue. Trump travels back in time to kill more dinosaurs to meet our fossil fuel needs. Oh, what else we got here? Unbelievable. Target dodges looting by hanging JCPenney sign. Wait a minute now. I used to buy a lot of my clothes at JCPenney. Mark Ruffalo donates $50 million to found Joseph Rosenbaum Elementary School. Oh my gosh. That's bad. It's funny, but it's bad. Anybody that doesn't know, I'm not going to explain it here. But Joseph Rosenbaum was the one shot by Kyle Rittenhouse. And he did some horrendous things to some very young boys. We'll leave it at that. Elementary school. It's tacky, but it's funny. Clever business owners ward off looters with Kyle Rittenhouse scarecrows. Let's check out this one. This is a good one. From the Babylon Bee, prosecutors find mail-in jury votes at 3 a.m. Rittenhouse is now guilty. Uh-oh. In a stunning reversal, Kyle Rittenhouse awoke this morning to discover that he had been found guilty after all. Prosecutors explained that during the night, they had found dozens of mail-in jury votes declaring the defendant guilty on all counts. Apparently, boxes of these mail-in votes arrived in a truck at the courthouse around 3 a.m. Attorneys for Mr. Rittenhouse were dumbfounded as how such a thing could have happened, raising questions as to the validity of the mail-in jury voting. They stated, "We've never heard of this. This isn't part of the legal system. Where do these votes even come from? How dare you question the sanctity of our criminal justice system," cried the prosecuting attorneys. "There is no justice until every vote is counted." Prosecutors then explained that a new COVID measure they had just instituted. But but given how well it's worked out, they said, we're planning on making it permanent. What's with these people who hate the greatest holiday ever? That's for the video. You know, that's exactly how some candidates felt. And not just at the presidential level. Gubernatorial, congressional. I live in upstate New York, and my current Congress member, Claudia Tenney, who I like a lot, I know Claudia, and I believe it took her 4 months before they got all the legal nonsense straightened out and before she was sworn in. To add insult to injury, when she was in the congressional chamber being sworn in, her son, who was in the Marine Corps defending her country, wanted to be there. And Nancy Pelosi, because she's such a piece of, wouldn't let her son stand even a few feet from her, 6, 8, 10 feet, 12 feet, wouldn't even let her stand. Let him stand to watch his mother being sworn in his dress uniform, by the way, of the Marines. So they thought he could go up in a gallery. There's a gallery up above in the House chamber. No, Nancy Pelosi, again, I'll say it, that piece of, not only couldn't he stand up in the gallery because of COVID rules, there's doors that lead to the gallery. He had to stand outside the doorway. Not with the doors open, with the doors shut. So he had to stand there and stare at the House gallery doors outside the chamber while his mother was being sworn in. Biden voters, Democrats, these are the people you defend. Got a little off on a side note there, but oh, God. You know, it's unbelievable. Let's check this out here. Rittenhouse verdict raises concerns that it's no longer safe to beat people to death with a skateboard. Yeah. Boy, you want to exercise your free right to go out and beat the hell out of somebody with a skateboard? I don't know. Looks like a Supreme Court case to me. As Americans deal with the aftermath of the Rittenhouse verdict, many are being forced to come to terms with the fact that it's no longer safe to beat people to death with a skateboard in America. I'm devastated. I'm terrified. I don't even recognize my own country anymore, said local concerned citizen Gail Pittlesnoot. I wonder where we get these names from. I wonder if they're people that work for the Babylon Bee. Now we've gotten to the point in our nation where people can no longer beat someone with a skateboard or kick someone in the face or threaten to kill them or risk of being shot. This is just horrible. American Society of Communist Skateboard Murderers reports that more and more of their members are dropping out, no longer confident they can go out at night, burn down cities, and bash in people's skulls with skateboards unmolested. This sets a dangerous precedent, said Pittlesnoot. It could be that in a very short time we no longer see gangs of marauding skateboard murdering arsonists roaming our streets at night. And that's a very sad thought. The funny part is that's exactly how they think. Experts are recommending that in the near future, for everyone's safety, people who own skateboards just ride them for fun instead of beating people up. And that, you know what's twisted? That's why I like the Babylon Bee in sarcasm like this. It used to be in the old Saturday Night Live when they were actually funny in the old days. This would be a Saturday Night Live skit. But here's the sick part. These morons think they have a right because it's for a just cause. Just to beat people indiscriminately, smash windows, loot stores, burn down buildings because we're protesting an injustice. These morons actually believe they have the right to do this crap. Now, let's get on to something lighter here. Since we're on the Kyle Rittenhouse bandwagon here, clever business owner ward off looters while Kyle Rittenhouse scarecrows. Small business owners have devised a clever solution to the mostly peaceful looting problem. I love that. Mostly peaceful looting problem that has plagued retail stores in the nation's Democrat cities. Sitting near a Kyle Rittenhouse scarecrow outside her fifth-generation vintage VCR boutique, I remember, you mentioned VCR, I'm showing my age, I was 65 last week. I was in Florida, in Tampa, in the early 90s, visiting a cousin of mine, and there was this giant flea market. And inside one of the buildings, it was a separate building, it was huge. I mean, it had to be 80, 90-foot square at least, maybe even 100-foot square. It was huge. The walls to ceilings to shelves, tens and tens of thousands of VHS tapes. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, let's read on with our story here. Outside her fifth-generation VCR boutique, Reby Hastings said, "We're already seeing positive results from this bad boy. Just yesterday, a flash mob of 50 looters were ready to pilfer my precious vintage VCRs. But want to look at this scarecrow, and they scare like politicians from a polygraph machine." However, someone pointed out the scarecrow's downside. One store owner complained that while scaring off potential looters, they intend to lure unemployed communist Antifa activists from out of their parents' basements and onto the streets. The commies are perfectly harmless when near the Kyle Rittenhouse scarecrow, said the store owner. One of them kept trying to hit the life-size replica of our national hero, but kept missing and punching himself in the face over and over. The scarecrows also reportedly caused celebrities to lose their minds and froth at the mouth. Just like the Mark Ruffalo thing there. I got to click on it. Sorry, guys. I got to do it. And, Mark Ruffalo, I remember when he first started, there was some kind of what we call B movies that he made. I think he's a terrific actor. I really do. But he is such a, it's like my favorite movie is The Deer Hunter. I got a close second. Lincoln is a close second, but I like The Deer Hunter. Has been my favorite movie since the 70s. But unfortunately, it's got a-holes Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep in it. And that's the part that us conservative people separate, is their talent or their skill at something and what they're like in real life. He's such a good actor. It's just amazing to me. But I explained to you earlier what Rosenbaum did. I really not go into it again. But Rosenbaum Elementary, Hollywood, California, in a show of support for the brave hero, dun dun dun, who passed burning down black-owned business, sacrificed his life fighting off the evil assassin Kyle Rittenhouse. Actor and keen observer of murder trials, Mark Ruffalo donated $50 million to found the Joseph Rosenbaum Elementary School. This is where it gets real tacky. I heard he just loved little kids, especially boys. Oh, my God. Said the Marvel actor who prides himself in fully investigating the facts before posting on Twitter. The least I can do is memorialize him for decades with a school built in his name so generations of children will always be reminded who Joseph Rosenbaum really was. You know what the sick part is? I would not be surprised if him, George Floyd, you go through the list, they try to rename schools after these people. These people really believe. I used to call them the flat earthers. Now I just call them the zombies. They just wander around. They really believe this crap. Ruffalo, a movie star famous for his role in the Hulk in over 300 Marvel movies, displayed his keen sense of logic and reasoning when he reminded people that Joseph Rosenbaum was just one of the millions of young black men who are thoughtlessly slaughtered every year by members of the KKK. Then with dramatic flair, Mark Ruffalo gestured behind him at the commemorative statue showing happy children sitting on the beloved, oh my gosh, martyr's lap. Well, you can see here that Mr. Rosenbaum is not black. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I do have to say, though, I would love to get a job with a Babylon Bee. These guys are great. What's this one here? I didn't even check this one out. Because of the lawsuits that are going to be coming up. Rittenhouse and Sandman, if you remember Sandman here, he was one of the Covington kids that sued and got tons of money, undisclosed amount. Rittenhouse and Sandman agree to share joint custody of CNN. Yeah, I hope that's true. I hope Rittenhouse sues the absolute living out of all these people. Sues them back into the Stone Age. Sues them back into the Stone Age. And the individuals that work at CNN, their personal money. Finally, they're going to be held accountable. But Rittenhouse found not guilty. Media outlets across the country are preparing for costly defamation lawsuits after a year of calling him a white supremacist. With CNN already half owned by Nick Sandman, the famous fake news organization will be soon giving up the other half of its ownership over to Kyle Rittenhouse. The two have agreed to share joint custody. We'd like to announce that our clients have come to an agreement to share custody of CNN, said Sandman and Rittenhouse's legal teams. Sandman said, while we will have custody on weekends, with custody transferring over to Rittenhouse on holidays and weekends. After the announcement, Rittenhouse began weeping upon realizing he is now a multimillionaire, while Sandman smirked like a big MAGA hat-wearing jerk face. Neither party has decided what to do with Brian Stelter, who may have to be put up for adoption. Yeah, good luck with that. Unbelievable. What was the one up here, though, I wanted to see? Oh, yeah. CNN, your trusted name in news. Reports on deadly boat accident at Pearl Harbor. What this is a takeoff on is the SUV that plowed through that crowd. And you know the rest. I want to go into details. I heard the 8-year-old died, rest his soul. They made it out to be a traffic accident. Nobody really drove it. The SUV did it. He was running from the police. It was all an accident. Blah, 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 blah. Just like Pearl Harbor was an accident. We know there wasn't, and that's, of course, just the sarcasm. Honolulu, Hawaii. CNN and other mainstream news outlets are reporting on a tragic, completely accidental boating accident at Pearl Harbor. As details still come in, CNN is urging people not to rush to judgment or assign blame until the story goes away in a few days. Yeah. Such a tragic and completely accidental boating accident, said one of the news anchors. The thing that's so sad about it is the tragic, totally random accidentalness of it. Our hearts with the victims and whatever. Anyway, in other news, independent journalists on the scene are sending messages that this was an intentional attack by the Empire of Japan. No. That was designed to inflict as much destruction and casualties as possible. Such messages have been dismissed as unfounded and racist and likely linked to recent increases in anti-Asian hate crimes. We do not need to investigate this any further or talk about it ever again, as it was an accident, said the local police chief in a press conference. Any talk of motive is unhelpful at this time. I think what's really important is allowing our Pearl Harbor community to heal. CNN then quickly transferred to a new story about the latest Cary Grant movie. And I wanted to put a little bit lighter spin on this episode because a lot of it's been so dark lately and a lot of bad things, especially that thing with the Christmas parade. I'm absolutely heartbroken over it. And I'm heartbroken and furious at the same time of how these morons are playing it. So this guy Brooks is now going to be a hero too. That had systematic racism against his whole life, and he was just fighting back, and he's a hero. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, give me a break. Give me a break. It's we need some sarcasm every once in a while. But here's the part I don't get. Honest to God, here's the part I don't get. When you see some of these polls, like the one with Trump and the dinosaurs, when you see these polls that still show 30, 35, 40% and change support for the Democrats still, I wonder, what the hell are you thinking? Now, I used to call these people flat earthers. Now I just call them zombies. They just wander around. I mean, they have no brain. They're just wander around evil, just looking to cause harm. And that's basically what they are. But are there really that many? 35, 40% of the American people are basically zombies? If you showed them these headlines and they didn't know any better, that this was Babylon B, they probably would believe the Mark Ruffalo story about naming a school after Rosenbaum. Honest to God. And they probably believe about the scarecrows with Kyle Rittenhouse in front of the stores. That's how screwed up they are. And I said this in the other video when they mentioned about CNN and others getting sued, and they will. I hope they sue them into the Stone Age. I hope I believe it's 230 of the Communications Act that's been protecting these social media monsters gets threatened to be revoked. It's unbelievable what they're doing in the censorship. And I hope they get sued into the Stone Age too. I think they're scared to death now because they're about ready to implode, and I think they know it. Anyway, folks, I just thought I'd lighten up a little bit. I still like that picture, though. Trump to the rescue. Trump travels back in time to kill more dinosaurs to meet our fossil fuel needs. Well, I was going to leave, but let's check this out. I mean, Rambo style with a machine gun killing dinosaurs and Trump. Nah, there's no way I could pass this up. President Biden, unable or too sleepy to do anything about the rising gas prices, former President Donald Trump has come to the rescue. Dun, dun, dun. He has funded the creation of a time machine so we can go back in time and kill dinosaurs so they can become more fossil fuels. It's the best time machine, the greatest, announced Donald Trump. He's geared up to kill dinosaurs. It's the only one with Trump written out in big letters. I'll bet it is. Trump says his plan, inspired by famous Native American Turek, is to go back somewhere between 6,000 and 240 million years ago to the time of the dinosaurs and just start killing as many as he can. He says he'll be careful not to step in any butterflies, though, as that could mess up the timeline. But it's open season, all the dinos. The more dead dinosaurs, the more oil. That's how it works, explained Trump. Then he showed off the weapons he was going to bring, a bow and an arrow for traditional dinosaur hunting, some piano wire in case he wants to strangle fuel dinosaurs silently, and weaponry for larger dinosaurs. And Trump said, I thought I would need silver bullets because that's a T-Rex's weakness. But it ends up I was thinking of werewolves. A T-Rex's weakness is a LAW rocket launcher. Some have criticized Trump's plan, though, pointing out that all the dinosaurs would die anyway, so going back and murder them doesn't do anything. Also, they pointed out that crude oil actually comes from the remains of long-dead algae and zooplankton. Trump cut on all these people's nerves and gave them wedgies before hopping into his time machine, ready for an orgy of dino murder. Anyway, folks, I thought I'd lighten it up a little bit, being that such sad things are going on. Well, until we check again with our friends of the Babylon Bee, until next time, goodbye and good luck.